In this first module, we are going to run through some basic but very important aspects of getting started flying with your drone. So learning these 5 steps will give you a great system for every flight, whether it is commercially or as a hobbyist. So step 1 is choosing the flight location. Before you actually fly your drone, you need to consider some health and safety aspects of the flight. Are you staying within the legal and aviation guidelines for a safe flight in that area? This first step is a quick overview of the things you need to do and what you need to find out when researching your location. Step 2 is, do you have the correct insurance? Do you need or have you got the correct level of public liability insurance as a pilot? Step 3, getting permission for the flight. How to get permission from either a private landowner or a commercial site or the nearest airport. And step 4 is spatial awareness. This is the practical element of this module and a very important lesson about understanding and gauging safe distances from your drone and obstacles around it and maintaining line of sight. And lastly is step 5, the practical test and a checklist for your flight. In this film, we are going to look at the 5 steps of planning your aerial shoot that also include testing your spatial awareness and depth perception. These important planning steps must be the foundation of every flight, and if you get into a routine of doing them and have a system for getting these things done before you actually fly, it will become easier and faster every time. Step 1, choosing your location. Regardless of your experience as a pilot, the process remains the same for every flight. If you want to film in a specific location, the first thing you need to do is to check the feasibility of the flight. Have a look on Google Maps and either type in the postcode or go as close as you can into the location and pinpoint the exact spot you want to fly from. Now check if you are a safe distance from roads, buildings or any other hazards that may cause a safety risk to your flight, such as electricity pylons, wires, structures or people. Once you have identified any potential hazards or safety risks, record these in a risk assessment and also identify how you can reduce any potential risks. Step number 2 is insurance. If you are currently a hobbyist pilot and you are considering becoming a commercial pilot, you have to get drone insurance before you complete your certification, and you will also have to provide evidence of your insurance in your planning documentation for every commercial drone project. So keep them somewhere easy for you to access, and you can provide the certificate of insurance quickly and easily when you're asked for it. Number 3 is gaining permission. This is possibly the single most important step for preparing any drone flight and will save you vital time on location. It will also make sure you are showing the proper level of professionalism as a pilot. There are 3 levels of permission you can go up to, but they must include one of the following. Number 1 is landowner permission, and this is often the easiest to get. A simple email to the right person with the outline of your plans, which need to include location, time of day and a description of your flight path, should be enough. But keep and print their responses and keep it with you on the day of the flight in case anybody asks you on the day. Number 2 is client liaison permission. Sometimes the client will act as the liaison between you and the landowner, and the client may say to you, "It's all fine, we can go ahead, I've had a chat with them," but this is not good enough. You need express written permission from the landowner directly to you as evidence of the permission. So once you have this, again, print it out, keep it on file. The next level is the class of airspace. This is often a step ignored by hobbyists as they are not aware of the process, but it is absolutely vital. If your flight location is within the airspace of an aerodrome or an airport, you need to get permission from the flight control tower. If you firstly go on an airspace website such as No Fly Drones and check your location postcode. If you are in the flight zone, you need to contact the relevant control tower and complete a form with your flight details, which will include location, date, time, height of operation and the duration of operation. They should be pretty quick to email you back with permission or not, but again, keep this information, print it out and keep it in your operation folder. In this first practical, we are going to test your depth perception at a distance from the drone and really show you how important it is to judge spatial awareness while you're looking at the drone and making sure you can see an obstacle in front of the drone. So here we've got a nice tall hedge which is about 10 or 15 feet high. It's a nice flat surface, but you can use any obstacle that's nice and flat. And now I'm going to grab Mish and we're going to head 100 meters or 300 feet away from the hedge and get set up. Before you actually head out to fly, find your location on a map and make sure you have a suitable spot with plenty of space around you and around the obstacle. No trees or buildings, no roads or pylons anywhere near you. Make sure you ask the landowner that you've got permission to fly safely in that field. It's always good and polite to make sure you've got permission before you go ahead. Set up your launch pad about 100 meters or 300 feet away from the obstacle, which is the hedge in our case. Once you're set up, lift your drone off and hover about 3 meters or 10 feet in the air. Stand directly behind the drone, turn your drone to face the obstacle and make sure you have a direct line of sight from you to the drone and then onto the obstacle. Now fly as close as you can towards the hedge but without looking down at the controller.
Okay, that's me done.
Okay, good. Let's go and have a look and see how close you are.
Ha! Look at me, I'm miles away.
Yep, that's right. You're still about 40 feet or so away from the hedge, and the reason for that is you could not judge depth perception from that far back away from the drone. So the reason why we've got you to do this test is to show you how important it is to be in a good position to be able to see the drone while you're flying and judge distances from obstacles in front of the drone. If you are too far away, you will not be able to judge distances effectively. So this is a really good way to make yourself more confident and more aware about where you need to position yourself while you're flying. In this second spatial awareness test, we are going to be flying closer to objects and making sure you understand how important it is to be in a good position to be able to judge the distance between your drone and objects you're flying near. So we're going to set Mish up about 7 meters or about 20 feet away from this big tree trunk here, and we're going to get her to fly the drone towards the tree trunk and past it and then back again, and then repeat that process but getting closer and closer towards the tree trunk, and that will show you how much closer you can get by looking at the drone than actually by looking at the screen on the camera. Get your drone ready and position yourself behind the drone and make sure you have a clear line of sight towards the tree. Then lift off and hover about 1.5 meters or 5 feet in the air, relatively low, and slowly send the drone past the tree trunk at about 2 meters or 6 feet away from the tree trunk. Then fly it back towards yourself in a straight line. Once you've done this a few times, you can edge the drone a little closer to the tree and repeat the process by going forwards and backwards a few times. Make sure you keep your eyes on the drone at all times and do not be tempted to look down at the screen and the camera view. Once you have got as close as you can towards the tree, going forwards and backwards, land the drone and watch back the footage and you will be surprised at how close it actually looks. So the purpose of this test is to make you understand how important it is to be in a really good position to judge distances between your drone and things you are flying near or past. Because the more you do this, the more confidence you will get as a pilot and the better you will be at testing your spatial awareness around the drone while you are flying. So keep practicing and you'll become a better pilot every time you do it. This first module has been about safe flight procedures and making sure you are prepared for any flight before you go ahead. The first part was about preparing for the flight, and the second was the learning exercise to show how your spatial awareness is different from watching the camera and using that to guide your drone. So step 1 was about choosing your location, checking the safe distances around your flight path and making sure you know the flight is safe to go ahead. Step 2 was about insurance. If you are conducting a commercial flight operation, make sure you have the relevant or correct level of public liability insurance to give to your client. And step 3 was about getting the right permission. Make sure you Contact the landowner or the person in touch with the landowner, and you have specific written permission to conduct your flight. And lastly, step 4 was about spatial awareness. Follow our guide to testing your spatial awareness and use your own depth perception to judge distances more than relying on the screen and camera.